Hey folks, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another review, or in this case, rant. Film that my friend Mike OCP sent me to watch. And that is a film that, no, a long time ago, I did this BS cast, slasher film cast with my friend Effrey about this film called Mountaintop Motel Massacre. It wasn't about this film, but we were talking about slasher films and this came up. And the title and the plot synopsis made us laugh. And I wish the movie was that funny, because I think this film sucked ass. I think it's a horrible slasher film. Mountaintop Motel Massacre, the best part of this movie is the title. And even the poster on Wikipedia is a shitty poster. Like the VHS cover is at least funnier because it looks like a Jehovah's Witness knocking on your door if you look at the VHS. It's directed by Jim McCullough Sr, which I know he's passed away. May he rest in peace, but I still think this film sucks. He didn't direct a lot of films. He directed something called The Video Murders in 1988, The Aurora Encounter in 1986, The St. Tammany Miracle in 1994. He was a producer of Creature from Black Lake. I like Creature from Black Lake. That's one I want to get on DVD sometime. That was one of those Bigfoot movies when I did a Bigfoot marathon that I didn't mind. But he produced that. I guess his son, Jim McCullough Jr., wrote this film. And I'm sorry. I think they both did a shitty job. I mean, I'm sorry. I think this is a shitty job. I'm going to read what it says here. The plot concerns a psychotic elderly woman who, after being freed from incarceration, returns to the motel she ran and begins murdering the guests. Filmed in 1983, it was not released theatrically until 1986, when it was bought for distribution by Roger Corman's film company, New World Pictures. Says here has been noted for its offbeat atmosphere. There is no atmosphere. Offbeater anyway. Has been referred to as an early 80s drive-in gym. There is no gym. The only thing here is turds, okay? Or fucking coal. And it's not one of the ones that you twist, you get a diamond. No. It's fucking coal you get for Christmas. And somehow this got a DVD from Anchor Bay in 2001, which went out of print. Should stay out of print, but it was reissued by Image Entertainment's Midnight Madness series in September 2011. Oh yeah, there's a lot of other movies. There's better movies that don't have DVDs. Deep Space with Charles Napier. Fucking... I don't even know if Crying Freedom with Marta Costas, at least in the US, there's a DVD release. Murder by Phone, Richard Chamberlain. Fuck, I mean, I'm sure I could probably find this film for cheap, but hey, if I want warning sign on an official DVD, I gotta pay $100. Fucking Split Second have actual good DVD release, not the shitty one it has. But no, Mountaintop Motel Massacre, a piece of crap movie that has nothing going for it. I'm sorry, it has nothing going for it. This film is you have this old hag named Evelyn who was admitted in 1978. It says it's in title cards. Admitted 1978. Released 1981. Why was she admitted? We don't know because they never say. Why was she released? We don't know because they never say. They never say why this Evelyn woman got admitted for. They never say why she got released. Like 3 years later. We don't know. But she has a girl, which I believe is her daughter, named Lori, who's this weird-ass bitch. Because she has all these dolls and has a rabbit and has this occult stuff in her room. And Grandma, or Ma, or whatever, not Grandma, but Evelyn, the old woman, talks about, you better get your critter, Lori, or I'm going to kill it. And then she kills it, but it's really not much because she comes down with the sickle. Comes down with the sickle. And all you do is you just see a little bit of blood spurt on her. Little blood splash on her. That's it. At the same time, her daughter's doing this occult shit. And she talks about how, oh, Mama's getting worse. And I guess the mom hears this and for some reason thinks that, oh, the daughter, even though she has this weird occult shit, is going to do something to her or going to bring her back or to the asylum or something, and she goes crazy, just swings wildly, And for some reason, she's swinging wildly, and the girl is just sitting there. And when I mean girl, I mean like a teenage girl. So Evelyn is swinging, her daughter is just sitting there for some reason. And you see that it hits her, but it's like, looks like it hits a fucking mannequin. And I don't know why the fuck well, I should say, I know why the mannequin sits there, because the mannequins can't move. Unless it has Andrew McCarthy in it, or even William Radsdale. But neither of them are in this movie. So of course that mannequin ain't going, I know it's supposed to be a girl, but it fucking, that's why it doesn't, there's no other reason why she should move, or duck, or go, no! No, she just stands there, or just sits there, the mannequin, I should say, sits there, hits it, and then I guess it was an accident, she was swinging wildly, and then she cries, and saying sorry and sad. But what's funny is that these cops come in, and they're like, what happened? And she's like, it was an accident. And the cops believe her. I'm like, they just take her word for it, and take the body away, and there's a funeral, of course, where Evelyn's hearing voices. Like, they think you're crazy. But I'm like, the cops just believe that it was an accident. You know? I mean, think about this. This is a woman that was in a mental asylum for 3 fucking years. She was a mental asylum in there for 3 fucking years. And of course the movie doesn't tell us why she was in it. But she was in there for 3 fucking years. And it's like, this crazy bitch was in a mental asylum for 3 fucking years. And okay, she's out. But, you know, this girl died. Okay, she says an accident. We take her word for it. How about you do something called investigation? Investigate. Look into shit. No. It's just an accident. And then they believe her for some fucking reason. Because they're stupid. And the movie... I'm sorry, whoever's involved with this film, you tell me how that makes any goddamn sense, even in a horror film. That's stupid, it's lazy, and then really a good chunk of the film is just all these people who we barely know anything about get into this motel. Just for some reason, after that death, this motel becomes like the most popular motel, because everyone gets there. You have this reverend guy who kind of drinks a little bit. Then you have the black guy, an older black guy named Crenshaw, who's a carpenter. Then you have this couple who recently got married. You have these 2 wannabe country singers. These women, well, 2 women that want to be country singers. And later on, this guy who, he really works for an ad company. But when he picks these girls up and they start talking, he pretends that he's with a record company. And I'm like, so this guy's kind of a creep. And what's sad is this guy becomes our lead guy and one of the guys who survives. One of the only survivors. And I'm like, this is the guy who is lying and pretending to be a record company so he can get these women to have sex with him. That's literally what the guy does. He has a she-looking mustache that, I'm sorry, you're not Tom Selleck. And then for some reason, underneath this motel, there's all these fucking tunnels. I'm like, I could deal with the tunnels in the Friday the 13th reboot. I could deal with that. But I'm like, how the fuck? Why are all these tunnels underneath the motel? What, this old lady bitch made all these tunnels? Just for some reason, there's all these tunnels underneath this motel. Because this is how she gets around. She goes under in these tunnels. And there's like hidden doors underneath each motel room that this old bitch goes around. And I shouldn't call her a bitch. I mean, that's right. But I'm talking about the character. The actress, really, out of the cast, she didn't do too bad out of all of them. But she didn't have much to say. But, you know, when she talked, she wasn't bad, this Evelyn woman. But I'm talking about the character. The character's a bitch because she's a murderer. And I was like, okay, whatever. It's a motel that for some reason has all these fucking tunnels up, down, and center. You want to complain about the Friday the 13th reboot, watch this fucking movie. Then you can complain about tunnels and shit. I could deal with Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 and why there was shit there. At least they half-ass explain it with like the... At least that was cool. Looks cool. Seemed cool. Is this a good movie? This isn't. But anyway, this bitch can go through all the tunnels and go underneath each fucking motel room. And for some reason, at first, she just does shit like... She puts a snake in one room. She puts rats in another room. She puts roaches on another room. None of these are to kill, I guess, because one bites. One's in the snake is in the married couple's room, and it bites the guy, and the guy doesn't die from the bite wound. It's just the guy needs a doctor. The rat is in the reverend's room, and it's like a mild annoyance, like, oh, come on, what's all these rats doing here? And then the roaches are in the black guy's room, the Crenshaw, the carpenter, and then it's like an older guy. And he's like, even more of a mild annoyance than the Reverend with the rats. Like, oh, I got, roaches. And I'm like, so what was the point of doing this? Does she want people out of her motel? Just because she's bored? I'm bored. Can I do something? Yes, I just shut it off and we'll do something else. But... And then we get more of the fucking guy who's pretending to be a record company guy. And pretty much the two... Gets in the motel room with these two girls. And one girl is like, no, I'm not going to sleep with them. What, you are? Yeah, pretty much, yeah, she is. And the girl who decides not to be a slut dies. She's like, after that beginning, the first to die. Because because she decided not to be a slut, she dies. Because this old bitch got up and killed her. And what's funny is that slices the girl's cheek. But what's funny, when the old woman hits her with the sickle, it looks like it doesn't hit her. Like, I can see it clearly misses the girl. But then it cuts away, it cuts back. Or, then it's, oh, okay, it's revealed she has like a deep cut in her cheek. Okay, so she has a deep cut in her cheek. And pretty much starts knocking people off one by one. The sickle goes into the chest of the Reverend. For some reason, he just stands there, and he's a big guy, this Reverend guy. He's like a big, little bit overweight guy. And he doesn't stop this, I swear she looks 60, 70 years old woman. And that's another thing. This is I understand, but that's one of the things about the original Friday the 13th. I'm like, really? A woman doing all this? A woman doing all this? But that was a better film. The kills were better, and at least you could tell. At least it was a mystery. It's not fair because you can't guess it because she doesn't appear till the ending. But it's supposed to be a mystery. You don't see her. But when you see an old woman coming after someone, I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't buy your threat. It's an old woman, 60, 70 years old. I punch her once, she dies of a heart attack. How am I supposed to be afraid? How is this a fucking threat? If I kicked her like Nick Cage in The Wicker Man into a fucking cabinet, she would die. Just like that. That's not a threat. It just makes people look stupid. And then the black guy finds that his friend's dead. And finds out about these tunnels and tells the others. And they're wondering if they should go down there. And the guy says, what, did my ass killed by some old crazy white woman? That was like one of the only decent lines I liked in the movie. The old woman, sneaking through and sneaking into the hidden doors of the motel. She kills the couple because she kills the woman. And because the guy who's fucked up with the snake bite, she kills him as well, kind of slits his throat in a very lame-looking way. I will admit that when she killed the girl of the couple, yeah, the sickle goes through both cheeks, so that was a little decent effect. What, you want half a star out of 4 or 5 or 6 or whatever for that? There's your half a star. Wow. Whoop-de-fucking-do. And pretty much by this time, all that's left is the other girl who was a slut, the guy who's a creep because he admits that he lied, he wasn't with the record company. Oh, just having fun. Yeah, being a creep and a pervert. So the slut and the guy who's a creep pervert, they live. And they're like the ones who should die first. So I guess the movie's trying to be clever with that. But why should I give a fuck about these two characters? I don't. And then the black guy who's, you know, the actor isn't the best actor, but, you know, the Crenshaw Carpenter, he's not really the best actor, but okay, you know. He's black, so is he going to die? Yep, he's the next guy to die. And if you're wondering, well, how come these people aren't leaving? Well, when that guy, the ad guy, who was with the 2 wannabe country singer girls, well, when they drove in, there's a storm, and of course it hit the tree and blocked the only way out. Now, of course, you could say, well, why don't they, you know, drive up there and just walk, you know, around the tree and keep going and walking up the hill on the road. I don't know why. They just don't. Because the movie would be over. And of course, that guy who works for the ad company, he has a car phone, so he was able to get a message to the sheriff who's on his way. So the ad company guy and the black guy goes in, and of course the black guy dies, gets his hand cut off, which looks very fake, and kills the old black guy. And I don't remember how she killed him. And then pretty much the other guy, the ad company guy, he disappears for a while because the sheriff goes down. The sheriff who's been in the film probably a total of 5 minutes. And the sheriff is the one who stops the crazy old coot. That crazy old coot? Sheriff stops her. Because she tries to kill him. He dodges. She misses. Hits the sickle on like a piece of wood. They struggle. And I'm like, why is the sheriff having to struggle with an old woman? He's able to punch her. Things are coming down. And because the sickle was on a piece of wood, when it comes down, it cuts her in the throat. Like, comes down like this and cuts her in the throat. And of course, that's one of those last scares. Like, she's not really dead, but then she dies. He gets out. And then the guy, the ad company guy, oh, he comes back and he's like, oh, I got knocked out or something? I don't know. I got knocked out or something. And the shot, I heard the shot. And I'm like, what shot? There was no gunshot. The sheriff never fired his gun. So what shot are you talking about? Did I miss something here? Did I black out? Like this guy who apparently blacked out, whatever the fuck he did? So those two, and the girl, and yeah, the girl didn't do anything. Which, that's rare, you know, in a slasher movie that the girl doesn't do anything. And the sheriff gets the 3 of them out there. And the storm's gone. And so they get to the tree, and they do like they should have done in the first place. They walk around the tree and get in the sheriff's car, and they go. And then for some reason, there's this shot of that dead daughter, Lori, for like a second on the road. And then the car drives by the sign, Mountaintop Motel, and then the movie ends. And I'm like, this movie sucks. I mean, the story sucks. The acting is not that good. The characters, there's no likable characters. Shit that, I mean, why should I buy this old hag as a fucking villain that I'm supposed to be scared of? It's supposed to be a horror film. It doesn't have any humor in it. Doesn't have any tongue-in-cheek stuff to it. Doesn't have any fun to it. It's not trying to be any of those things. The kills aren't much. I mean, it's with a sickle. I mean, you get one that, you know, after effect where it's in between both of the girls' cheeks. Pretty much like, oh, a sickle in the chest. And, oh, the girl, I guess, got a little bit of her cheek sliced. A fake hand that got cut off. Not much to the kills. Very boring and bland and not a fucking thing to it. Not even explaining why she got admitted and how she got released and why the fuck are the cops not thinking, this girl died. This is the mom was in an insane asylum, committed for a few years. Let's not even think of anything weird about that. And like, okay, those two guys who go down the tunnels, why do they decide to split up? Like, why couldn't they go through the tunnel bit by bit? Because by that time, the guy who's a carpenter, he nailed all the hidden doors shut. And if they trapped the old lady down there, then they could go down there. And of course, then you're thinking, well, why don't all three of them just walk down the road around the tree and keep going and meet up with the sheriff? Or whoever's down the road. I don't know that either. And, you know, the two who live, I mean, well, the sheriff, that he's in the film for like maybe 5 minutes at most. And then a guy who lied to get some pussy, and a girl who was a slut to be a country singer. Those who I should root for. This movie is absolutely a pile of nothing. And the fact that this film got a DVD release and so many other films didn't. 2 DVD releases. Anchor Bay and a re-release. Like, Murder by Phone Richard Chamberlain is miles better. That never got a DVD release. My Demon Lover. Don't give me that Warner Archive shit. It's a fucking DVD-R. Why should I buy a DVD-R on Amazon when I could just make a DVD-R myself? I'm talking about an official DVD, not a fucking DVD-R from Warner Archive that costs $15. Here's $15 to do something that you can do right at home. How about an official DVD? My Demon Lover, Murder by Phone, Taking of Beverly Hills in the U.S., even Rolling Vengeance, Deep Space. I mentioned that already. I mean, there's so many other films that in the U.S. never got a DVD release, but this film got 2. It's ridiculous bullshit. But anyway, Mountaintop Motel Massacre sucks. Plain and simple.